Welcome to my Christmas series on my YouTube channel. This is my second video and I will be making a snowman ornament out of these wood cubes that I found at the Dollar Tree. I picked them up a while ago because I just felt like it had a great opportunity for a craft. I'm also using some Scrabble pieces for part of the hat. You can find these at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Amazon. I hope you enjoy this video. I would love it if you subscribed if you are new to my channel. I'm going to be making 3 snowmen, so I need 3 cubes for each one, and you can see me counting them here, and I also need a cube for each hat. I'm going to be painting the cubes of the snowman white, and I'm using Apple Barrel paint from Walmart. I love this brand. It's also inexpensive. I saw a genius hack on TikTok to quickly paint wood round beads, so I thought it would work great for these wood cubes as well. You put a little bit of paint in a Ziploc bag and throw all of the wood beads or wood cubes inside of it, and then you just move it around and make sure that the paint totally covers it. I didn't put too much paint in it at first, and I decided to add a little bit more. You don't want to go too crazy with the paint though, otherwise it gets a little too clumpy on there and it's just hard for it to dry. Once it's done, I dump all of those out. I love this silicone mat that I bought from Amazon. It is a non-stick mat and it just works great for paint projects. I was so surprised how well that hack worked. It completely covered the cubes in the paint and it just made the process so much faster. I did have to go in and touch up a little bit. There were some sides that just needed a little more paint, and I think with it being white paint, that was also part of the reason why I had to add a little bit more. Next, I followed the same process for the black paint for the hat of the snowman. The black paint covered it so well, I only had to touch up just a little bit of the Scrabble pieces. I have a stroller fan that I use for my kids in the summer, and I decided to get that out and run it over the cubes just to help the drying process a little bit. Next, I'm going to add screw eyes on the top of the hat, which is the black cube. That way I can add thread in it to make it into an ornament. Thankfully, my husband came up with this idea. However, you do want to prevent your wood cube from splitting in half like that. And to do that, you'll want to take scissors and create a hole in the top of the cube. It doesn't even have to be that big of a hole, and that will help when you start screwing in that cube and prevent it from breaking in half. After that, I just take the screw eye and twist it into the cube until it goes all the way down. Here's how it looks. Now I'll show you in Cricut Design Space how I find the snowman faces. I'm going to add my guide first. This is what I usually do if you watch my channel for a while. So when Cricut came out with this guide feature, I was like so excited. So I'm going to click on a square, and then I'll come up to my operation type and switch it to a guide. These wood cubes are so tiny. They are 15 millimeters. I had to Google how many inches 15 millimeters were because I definitely could not do that math in my head. And it is 0.59 inches. So I'm going to come up here and type in 0.59. Now I am going to duplicate this twice. This is really, really tiny, but I do have a little trick that helps cutting this out. If you've been a Cricut user for a while, you probably already know what it is. But I'm going to go over to my images and search for snowman face. Cricut Design Space has adorable little snowman faces, so I was excited to see all these images here, and I'm just going to pick 3 of these. I'll add these to my canvas. I'm just going to make them quite a bit smaller. And now I am going to zoom in so you can see this a lot easier. Here's my little snowman faces. I'm just going to size this so it fits inside of the square. I always like to highlight over my guide and my image, and then I go up to a line and center. It just gives me an idea of how it looks, and I think that is a good size for that one. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. For this one, I don't want the hat or even any of the red pieces. So I'm going to come over to my layers panel. I'm going to hide all the red. And the black is all one layer, so I need to contour this one. So I have the layer selected and I'll come down to contour. And all I'm going to do is select on the hat. Then I'll click out of there and it gets rid of it. Now we have our cute little faces. Now I just need to grab 2 circles for the buttons. I think I'm going to have ribbon for a scarf, but it might take up part of this cube because it's pretty tiny, so I'm going to do the buttons on the last cube. It looks like a pretty good size, so I'm just going to hit duplicate. It might be just a little too big. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then I'll try to duplicate it again. I think that looks good. Obviously it's not lined up, so I am going to select both of these. I like to just hit shift on my keyboard sometime to select them, and I'm going to go up to a line and select center horizontally. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to attach these. I have both of my circle layers selected and I'm just going to hit attach. Looking at this is gray, we have black, and I think there's a couple different oranges, so I need to make sure everything is the right color so it goes onto just one mat. The easiest way to do this is go to color sync, and all you have to do is slide these over and you can grab the whole layer, so then you just drag it down. Now you can see all of them are under black and then all of these are under the same orange. Now I can click on make it. You can see it brings it on each color mat, and then I'll hit continue. Now here's the tip that I wanted to share with you with these tiny pieces. You've probably already heard of this, but the washi sheet setting works so well for this. It's actually crazy how well it works. So I'm gonna select that and use that for both of my vinyl pieces. The Cricut will first cut out the black vinyl, then it will cut out the orange one. I'm using Oracal 651. This is permanent and it just cuts really well, so I love to use it for those tiny pieces. This is also a great project to use up some of your scrap vinyl. Now I'm ready to weed it. It's so tiny, so it makes it hard, but shockingly, it weeded really well. I also cannot recommend enough this pen tool. It is a total game changer. I was struggling a little bit with this piece, and what helped me was just to place my pen tool on top of the vinyl that I wanted to stay as I was weeding away the excess vinyl. Now I'm ready to add the snowman's face. I take transfer paper and place it on the vinyl. Then I remove the backing of the vinyl away and place it onto the cube. Then I just remove the transfer paper. I just do the same thing for the other 2 cubes as well. Next, I'm ready to add the nose on. I like to use tweezers for tiny pieces like this. I love these ones. They are from Tech Wrap. Here I'm adding the buttons. I decided to put it on the bottom cube because the scarf would take up part of the middle cube. Now for the fun part is adding all the pieces together. I'm just using hot glue to glue each cube together. I decided to use chiffon ribbon for the scarf. You can really use any type of ribbon for this. I cut off a strand of ribbon, then I just fold it in half and place my snowman in the middle. And sorry, it's kind of cut off here, but I tie one knot and then I just kind of pull it to the side. The scarf was a little long, so I trimmed off a little bit of each edge. Now I'm ready to add the string to hang the ornament. I'm using this pink and white twine. You can really use any type of twine for this, and I just thread it through there and I tie a knot at the top. Look how stinking cute these turned out. I absolutely love them. I hung them on my little Christmas tree that I have in my craft room. You can use whatever color scarves you want or just kind of get creative with it. Let me know if you're going to make these. Also, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more Christmas videos coming soon.